So we'll talk about the different types of play with children. There's two types of play. There's child-led and adult-led. Child-led is when the child initiates the play session. He will go into the playroom or the area and choose the activities he wants. Adult-led is when the adult sets up the environment and invites the child to come and follow a structured routine that they have set up for them to follow. Now we'll start with child-led. Child-led is a great opportunity for you to develop your child's attention skills through the child-led activity setting. However, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, you need to keep in mind the surrounding and setting up the area. So your surroundings need to be organized and clutter-free. To develop your child's attention skills, he can't be distracted by his surroundings. So encourage your child to go into the playroom and choose the activity he wants, but ensure that you have set it up in a way that is clutter-free and is organized and labeled. The other thing you need to do to your environment in a child-led activity is to ensure that you have had invitations to play. What's an invitation to play? It's when you have set up something that encourages the child to come and investigate. So in a child-led scenario, you'll have the activities laid out, you'll have your blocks, you'll have your small world figures, but you'll also have a few things laid out. So you'll have Play-Doh, but next to the Play-Doh, you'll also have maybe some pom-poms, some twigs, googly eyes. So the child will get the opportunity to choose what activity he wants, but you've set it up in a way that you're encouraging him to go and gear towards something that will develop his attention skills because it will interest him. The positive thing about having a child-led activity area is that the child is interested in the activities. He's invested and he wants to play. This will automatically encourage him to stay focused for longer. Hence, his attention skills will develop. Now, when we talk about adult-led activity, it's when you have set up an area or a setting or a place or a setting of activities that you're encouraging your child or prompting your child to use. In an adult-led activity, you will have to have the area completely clutter-free. You'll have an area either on the floor or a tabletop with only the activity you want to encourage your child to play with. The downside with an adult-led play area is that the child is not always interested in what you have set out. So although you might want to do a puzzle with your child might not be interested in doing that. So there's two things to keep in mind in an adult-led scenario. The first is that always pair a non-favorable activity with a favorable activity. If your child does not enjoy puzzles, but that's what you want to focus on, then pair it up with something he likes, let's say bubbles. Start with what he likes and then move on to something that he doesn't necessarily enjoy. That way, pairing up these activities will encourage your child to go through them and be settled when he first starts, and which will increase his attention skills and willingness to continue. The second thing is to use something called a token board. Now, a token board is a great activity or a great tool to use when you're working on a non-favorable activity or basically an activity your child doesn't enjoy, because you're pairing up the non-favorable activity with a reinforcer or a reward. This basically acts like a sticker chart. Have a picture of the reward that your child wants. It's important that your child chooses the reward and not you. You might choose ice cream, but he might not want ice cream that day. So encourage your child to choose something he wants. It can be anything from tablet time to edibles and food or a favorable toy. Have a picture of that here, or you can just place the item on top. You will then start pairing the tokens with what you want him to do. Let's use puzzles as an example. Your child doesn't enjoy doing puzzles, but you want him to complete a 5-piece puzzle because we want him to stay focused for that long. So what do? We remove the 5 tokens and we pair them up with puzzle pieces. So for every puzzle piece that he completes, he will get a token. And then as you go on, so with every puzzle piece, he gets a token until you complete all the tokens that he needs to do. Once he's done, he will then automatically get the rewards. You need to make sure that once he gets all his tokens, he gets his rewards, because if he doesn't, he won't trust the system. This will not necessarily work the first time you do it, but with time and practice, as long as you pair up your token boards with non-favorable activities, your child will understand the concept of token economy and token boards, and that will encourage him to continue. You can start with 1 token and build your way up to 10. So don't start with 10 tokens if your child's attention span is very short. If you know he really doesn't like puzzles, then all he needs to get his reward is just 1 token. 1 piece in the puzzle, 1 token, and then reward. This will positively reinforce your child, which will encourage him to use this again next time because he trusts the system. So just to sum it up, there are 2 things to keep in mind when you're setting up the scene for your child and wanting to work on his attention skills. You're going into that area or that environment with that objective in mind, which is developing your child's attention skills. This can be done in one of 2 ways, either child-led or adult-led. Child-led, you're ensuring that the environment is clutter-free, and although this is very reinforcing for your child, it might not yield the best results. In an adult-led scenario, you're in control of what's going on, you're ensuring that there's nothing available that will distract him, and that you're only working on the activity that is present. And for non-favorable activities, pair them with token boards. Token boards are available for you to download. Thank you.